Most couples don't break up because they fought. They break up because of what the fight turned them into. A voice you barely recognize. A sentence you can't unsay. A look that says, "I'm done listening." And then later, when the room is quiet again, you wonder, did we just damage something, or can we still fix this? If you've ever argued with someone you love and felt fear underneath the anger, this video understands that. Because the truth is, fights are normal. What isn't normal is how quickly a fight can turn into emotional injury, if neither person knows how to protect the bond while emotions run high. So today, I'm not going to teach you how to win arguments. I'm going to give you 5 relationship rules for couples during fights. Rules that stop small conflict from becoming relationship-ending moments. These rules aren't about avoiding conflict. They're about protecting connection while you disagree. And I want to set expectations. This is not about perfection. This is about repair. Here's the big idea. Fights are not the real problem in relationships. The real problem is what happens during fights that makes two people feel unsafe with each other. Because most couples don't fight about the real topic. They fight about what the topic means. You didn't text back becomes "I don't matter." You spent money without telling me becomes "I can't trust you." You never help around the house becomes "I feel alone." So it's not only the issue, it's the emotional signal underneath it. And that's why how you fight matters more than what you fight about. Small mistakes in conflict can slowly damage connection. Tone, timing, defensiveness, silence that feels like punishment, words that hit below the belt. So in this video, we'll go through 5 relationship rules couples should follow during fights. These rules protect respect, emotional safety, and long-term connection. Let's get into rule number 1. Rule 1. Protect the person while you address the problem. Here's the rule. Talk about the issue without attacking the person. When emotions rise, it's easy to turn a complaint into a criticism. Research by Dr. John Gottman, who studied thousands of couples over 4 decades, makes this distinction clear. A complaint sounds like, "I felt ignored when you walked away." A criticism sounds like, "You're selfish. You don't care." Do you feel the difference? One addresses a specific behavior. The other attacks character. One invites a conversation. The other invites a defense. Why this rule matters during fights. When people feel attacked, they stop listening. They don't hear the message. They hear danger. So instead of "how do we solve this?" the nervous system goes into, "How do I protect myself? How do I win? How do I hit back?" And here's what Gottman's research found. Criticism is one of the strongest predictors of relationship breakdown. Because once character attacks become routine, they breed contempt, the single most toxic emotion in relationships. Realistic scenario. You're arguing because your partner forgot something important. You say, "You never think about anyone but yourself." Now your partner isn't thinking about the forgotten thing. They're thinking, "I'm being judged as a bad person." So they respond with, "Oh yeah, what about all the times you?" Now you're not solving anything. You're collecting evidence. What usually goes wrong when couples ignore this rule? The fight becomes a trial, and both people start trying to prove, "I'm right and you're wrong." The original issue gets buried under character attacks. How following the rule changes the outcome. Try the shift. Instead of, "You don't care about me," say, "When that happened, I felt unimportant. I need reassurance." Instead of, you're always irresponsible. Say, I feel stressed when plans change last minute. Can we talk about how to handle it? This isn't about sugarcoating. It's about expressing the deeper need beneath your complaint. Connection, safety, being valued. Ask yourself mid-fight, am I trying to solve this, or am I trying to punish? Because punishment feels powerful in the moment, but it creates distance later. Rule 2. Slow down the fight before it speeds up you. When your body gets heated, slow the pace. Don't increase the pressure. Most damage in relationships happens when people fight while emotionally flooded. Emotional flooding is a term coined by Dr. Gottman to describe what happens when your nervous system becomes overwhelmed during conflict. Flooded looks like fast talking, raised voice, harsh tone, interrupting, sarcasm, bringing up 5 old topics at once, heart rate above 100 beats per minute, sweaty palms, inability to think clearly. It feels like urgency, but it's not urgency. It's overwhelm. Why this rule matters. A heated nervous system can't do empathy well. Your brain goes into survival mode. Fight, flight, freeze, or faint. When you're flooded, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking, problem solving, and perspective taking, essentially shuts down. Research shows that stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol flood your bloodstream. Your heart rate spikes, and blood flow redirects away from your thinking brain. So even if you love each other, the conversation starts sounding like enemies. Realistic scenario. One person says something small like, "Why didn't you tell me you were going out?" The other hears control and reacts fast. Because you always make a big deal about everything. Suddenly the fight escalates, not because of the topic, but because of speed and intensity. What goes wrong when this rule is ignored? The fight becomes a storm, and storms break things. You say things like, "I'm done. Maybe we shouldn't be together." You ruined everything. Even if you don't mean it, your partner hears it as real. And those words leave emotional bruises that last far longer than the fight itself. How following the rule changes the outcome. Use a simple slow down sentence. "I'm getting heated. I want to keep this respectful. Give me a minute. I want to hear you, but I need to calm down so I don't react badly. I'm feeling flooded. Let's pause before we say things we'll regret." Slowing down is not weakness. It's leadership. It's choosing the relationship over the rush to be right. Ask yourself, if I keep speaking like this, will I be proud of it tomorrow? Rule 3. Listen to understand, not to reload. Don't listen while building your counterattack. A lot of couples listen like this. They wait for the pause. They grab one word. They fire back. That isn't listening. That's preparing. Why this rule matters during fights. When a person feels unheard, they get louder, or they shut down. Either way, connection drops. Under anger, most people carry a deeper message. I'm scared. I feel alone. I don't feel chosen. I don't feel safe. If you don't hear that message, the same fight repeats in different clothing. Realistic scenario. Partner A says, "When you dismiss what I'm feeling, I feel small." Partner B responds, "I didn't dismiss you. You're exaggerating." Now, partner A feels alone again. The emotional message, "I felt diminished," goes completely unheard, and the fight grows. What usually goes wrong? One person tries to correct the other person's feelings. They defend themselves instead of connecting. But feelings don't respond to correction. They respond to care. They need to be acknowledged, not debated. How following the rule changes the outcome. Try reflective listening. So what I'm hearing is you felt hurt when I said that. You're not saying I'm a bad person. You're saying that moment felt painful. Is this more about feeling ignored than about the actual thing? This technique, rooted in research by Sue Johnson and attachment theory, shows your partner. Their inner experience matters. This doesn't mean you agree with everything. It means you're proving one thing. Your inner world matters to me, even when we disagree. Ask yourself, do I want to be understood, or do I want to be right? Because you can win an argument and still lose closeness. Rule 4. Take breaks without abandoning each other. Pause the fight in a way that still feels emotionally safe. Many couples try to take breaks, but the break turns into punishment. One person walks away. The other feels abandoned. Then the fight becomes, you always leave. You always chase. You never let me breathe. You never stay. Why this rule matters. A healthy pause prevents escalation. An unhealthy pause creates fear. So the key is not just taking space. It's taking space with connection. Research shows it takes at least 20 minutes for your body to metabolize stress hormones and return to baseline after emotional flooding. But breaks shouldn't exceed 24 hours, or the anxiety builds and resentment sets in. Realistic scenario. Partner A says, I can't do this right now, and disappears for hours. Partner B sits there thinking, are we okay? Do they still love me? Are they going to break up with me? Now the nervous system panics, and the next conversation gets worse. What goes wrong when this rule is ignored? The pause becomes a withdrawal, and withdrawal feels like emotional abandonment. It triggers attachment fears, especially for people with anxious attachment styles, and withdrawal builds resentment. How following the rule changes the outcome. Use a structured pause. I need 20 minutes to cool down. I'm coming back. We're okay. I'm not leaving you. I'm trying to stop this from getting worse. Let's pause and return at specific time. This creates safety through specificity. Even better, add one small gesture before the pause. Softer tone, eye contact, a hand squeeze. I love you. I'm just overwhelmed. That tiny signal prevents the break from feeling like rejection. During the break, don't rehearse your argument or replay what they said. Instead, do something genuinely calming. Deep breathing, music, a walk, reading. Ask, can we create distance from the fight without creating distance from each other? Rule 5. Repair after the fight, not just move on. After conflict, do repair, don't pretend nothing happened. Many couples get over it by going quiet, joking, or acting normal. But inside, the pain stays. An unresolved pain doesn't disappear. It collects. Then one day, a small conflict triggers a huge reaction, and nobody understands why. That's years of unrepaired moments erupting at once. Why this rule matters. Repair turns conflict into deeper connection. It says, we can face hard moments and still be safe. We don't have to be perfect to be close. We can hurt each other and still choose each other. Dr. Gottman's research found that successful couples aren't couples who never mess up. They're couples who make and accept repair attempts. A repair attempt is any statement or action that prevents negativity from escalating. It's the secret weapon of emotionally intelligent couples. Realistic scenario. You fight. You both cool down. Then one person says nothing for 2 days. The relationship looks fine, but the emotional trust weakens. The unspoken hurt becomes a brick in an invisible wall. What goes wrong when this rule is ignored? Resentment becomes the third person in the relationship. Small, unrepaired wounds accumulate into emotional distance. Over time, partners stop feeling safe being vulnerable with each other. How following the rule changes the outcome. Use a simple repair conversation. Name your part. I got sharp earlier. That wasn't fair. Name the impact. I can see how that could have hurt you. Name what you needed. I felt scared and I reacted badly. Offer a better next step. Next time, I want to pause before I escalate. Then ask, what would help you feel safe again right now? Repair doesn't require a perfect apology speech. It requires sincerity and effort. It requires you to choose connection over pride. Sometimes repair looks like, I'm sorry for how I said that. Can we start over? I was wrong about that part. You were right. I wasn't listening. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of strength and emotional maturity. Practical application and conflict repair. What to do mid-fight. Let's make this usable. 1. What to do in the middle of a fight to stop damage. When you feel escalation starting, try this. The 10-second reset. Stop speaking for 10 seconds. Unclench your jaw. Drop your shoulders. Breathe slower than you want. Then say, I'm starting to get reactive. I don't want to hurt us. That one line can change the direction of the whole argument. 2. How to cool down without emotional withdrawal. Cooling down works best when you include a clear return. Say, I need a break to calm down. I'll come back in 30 minutes. Don't say, whatever. I'm done. You're impossible. Those lines don't create space. They create fear. They trigger the other person's panic response, especially if they have anxious attachment. 3. What to say and not say when emotions run high. Say this. Help me understand what you meant. I hear you. I'm struggling, but I'm here. I need a minute so I don't speak harshly. Can we focus on one issue at a time? I want to understand your side. Avoid this. You're crazy. You always do this. You're just like your mother/father. No one would put up with you. You're being dramatic. Some sentences don't start fights. They end trust. They create wounds that take months or years to heal. 4. Simple repair behaviors that rebuild safety quickly. These look small, but they work. Softer voice after harsh words. A genuine, I get why that hurt. Sitting closer instead of across the room. A check-in text. I'm still with you. I'm calming down. Making eye contact and saying, I'm sorry. Small acts of kindness. Making coffee, a gentle touch. Research shows these micro repairs can prevent relationship damage from escalating. Quick wins to try in your next argument. Here are 2. Quick win number 1. Replace blame with impact. Instead of you don't care, try I felt alone when that happened. This shifts from attacking character to expressing your emotional experience. Quick one number 2. Call a pause before it turns ugly. I feel myself escalating. Let's pause for 20 minutes and come back. Not forever. Not avoidance. Just enough time to protect the bond. Just enough time to let your nervous system reset so you can think clearly again. Final reflection. Here's the truth. Fights don't end relationships. Unresolved pain does. Connection grows when both people feel heard, respected, emotionally safe, even during disagreement. Love gets tested in conflict, not comfort. And strong couples aren't the couples who never fight. They're the couples who know how to fight without breaking each other. They're the couples who protect the relationship even when they're mad. They're the couples who choose repair over pride. Thank you for watching SoulTalker. If this video helped you see conflict differently, like the video. Comment which rule felt most important or most difficult for you. And subscribe to SoulTalker for more emotionally intelligent relationship content, communication, boundaries, and building real long-term connection. And remember, you don't need perfect words in a fight. You need a shared commitment to protect the relationship while you work through it. Because the goal isn't to win. The goal is to come back to each other again and again without losing yourselves. The goal is to build a relationship where conflict makes you stronger, not more distant. Where fights become opportunities for deeper understanding instead of reasons to give up. That's what lasting love looks like.